This is the Parent Portal Show.
You've seen prices rise from the dinner table to the pump, but Allstate agents are seeing ways to save you money on insurance. From starting a new policy to bundling coverage or even driving safely, Allstate agents know how to maximize your savings. They'll share their knowledge as they help you personalize your coverage. Because when it comes to seeing all the ways to save, Allstate agents do it best.
Mike Hammer has over 35 years as an Austin area Allstate agent. Call 512-343-6994 or visit mikehammer@allstate.com.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
We certainly, to just kind of wrap up, we talked about injury a little bit today, and you and I have gone through it. I got injured my junior year in high school football, and I wasn't considered valuable enough for the team that they didn't worry about me recovering quickly. So that's kind of an interesting place to be. I recovered just fine. I was ready for my senior year, but it's tough. Injuries are tough. There's setbacks and they're not performance based. It's not, I'm not sitting out of the game because I'm not playing well enough. I want to be in there, and a lot of desire, especially for athletes who are just hungry to play. It's hard.
It really is. You're dealing with, as a coach, I always tell the athletes, look, listen to your body, because your body is going to tell you what's happening. But if you're not listening to it, you can't see it, you can't hear it, kind of moment. And the other part is like nobody prepares you, as an athlete for the disappointment that happens when there's an injury or there's a big loss or something, because it's going to happen to every athlete, right? And it's not just about loss on the football field, but it teaches you those lessons in life, how to deal with disappointment. And it's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's, we all, I've watched my two athletes go through that process of, recovery, having to heal themselves. And, one of the biggest mistakes many athletes make is they try to get back on the field too quickly. They try to get back in the game too quickly. And that just does nothing except put them at risk for another injury. And sure enough, one of my athletes, it concluded his playing time.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I the first thing I think about when you're telling that is a former Mojo player, and we've talked about him before, is Boobie Miles.
Yeah,
he blows out his knee early, and he's like, "I'm coming back," let Boobie spit, kind of moment.
Yeah,
and he comes back, and as long as he's running in a straight line, he's perfect. But the instant that he had to plant, his not just that season, but his career was over. And that. The disappointment that you experience by not being immediately able to come back the next week, that's something that if you come back too quick, you could be experiencing a lifetime of something because you didn't listen, you didn't follow through, you didn't, you didn't take the advice of what was given to you. And, we've talked about this before, is like, surround yourself with great people, whether it's, a tax consultant or maybe it's an attorney for contracts, nutritionists, sports medicines, doctors are part of your team as well. And you have to let them do what they do well.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. As a parent, as we watch our athletes go through these setbacks, sometimes it is hard to step in, and, we want our kids to do their best, but if they're hurt, they need to get out of the game. And, one of the things I think is important, I've heard you say it a few times, is, we're there to love our kids, and we're there to give them that encouragement. We're there to let them know it's okay. You're still going to be a great person. You're still doing your job, even if you have to be on the sideline. And that's a tough message. It's hard for us to share that with our kids and not see them a little deflated from that injury.
You know, the old saying of pain is temporary, victory is forever can sometimes get in the way of like great advice, like what you're talking about, because at the end of the day, you know, your kiddo wants to get out there and perform. And a lot of times we're talking about, you know, kids that, you know, their whole reason is they want to go out and make us proud, you know, of what they're doing. And for them to know that, hey, we're proud of you if you're running down the field or walking to the stadium. We're just proud of you, and let them know that, you know, there's going to be those disappointments in life, but being able to see that the knowledge they gain from going through these moments will help them for the next moment. That's huge because, you know, they don't have the processing yet to have a lot of big disappointments. When you take something that's some kid's identity, right? You say, you ask a kid, it's like, hey, what do you do? You know, they're not saying, well, I work for this accounting firm downtown. They're saying I play football. That's their identity, right? And you take that identity away from them, and all of a sudden that could go down a really dark place. And, you know, as a parent, I sit here and go, how do I not let that dark place come? And, you know, it's by letting those kids know you love them and that this is a moment, not the moment in their world.
Yeah. No, I love that, Coach. I think you're right. You know, it's funny you said it that way. My kid doesn't introduce, you know, I don't introduce my kid, or, you know, when they ask how Jason's doing or whatever the question is, I don't say, oh, let me tell you about this great grade he made on his biology test. Now, we cherish those moments. We certainly do it a little more internally in the family, but I won't hesitate to say, oh yeah, he's doing great at middle linebacker. So those moments it's kind of an interesting perspective on it. But, you know, I think one interesting thing that did happen this weekend that I think is great. And, you know, as we talk about our community that surrounds us, right? So watching Quinn Ewers go through the decision on his own, pretty much on his own, to go to the coach and say, Coach, I'm hurt. I don't think I can still play to my best abilities, and I think I need to be out of this game. Boy, that's a tough decision. And again, I'm hearing it all the time. You know, parents are sharing with me, and I know athletes that are on the field right now that are not 100%. Now, again, there's a big difference between a cut and a bruise and just, you know, more serious injuries that are impactful.
Yeah, it really is. And I'll share this. When we went to the doctors the other day to have my athlete evaluated, he said, look, he said, if this was his last game and he was a senior, I'd let him play. He said, but this isn't that moment. He's still in middle school. He's got 4 or 5 more years in front of him.
Yeah.
And this isn't that moment. And it's, wow, what great words. Because, you know, as dad, I'm like, I just want my kid to be healthy and happy and safe and everything else. And I appreciate you supporting me and saying, hey, let's not push this because this isn't that moment. This is just a moment.
Great words of advice there, Coach.
Yeah.
We all have hectic lives, and moving is just a huge chaotic mess. If you are moving to this state, this city, what would you need to get comfortable? Even if you live in town and this is your home purchase or home sell, how would you want to be treated? Chris Ott with the Ott Group of Keller Williams Realty has been a longtime friend and was the guy who worked with me to find the perfect property solution. When I needed a real estate company knowledgeable on the Austin area, Chris Ott and Teresa Boasso with the Ott Group helped me with my house search needs. Chris and Teresa have helped thousands of people move. The Ott Group family is celebrating 35 years in business in Austin real estate. Their mantra is your move matters, and that is what they focus on. Having the Ott Group of Keller Williams Realty and their team of talented professionals assist me in every step with my search was the only way to get it done. just go to theottgroup.com and get connected with the Austin real estate team dedicated to taking care of you. Ott, spelled OTT. Go to their website, theottgroup.com, and see how they can make your move easy.